Ethan is a plant. Hey guys, welcome back to this place. If you are new, welcome here for the very first time. I'm Carmen, and today we are watching season 1, episode 16 of Lost. I am so excited. I have just gotten off of watching the last episode, or just finished watching the last episode. I worded that weird. But I'm very excited to see what happens in this episode. Unfortunately, the last episode did not have all of the answers that I was kind of hoping for, or at least some of the answers that I was hoping for. Claire does not remember what happened to her. Perhaps she will get her memory back and we will get to discover how many others there might be, what they did to her, what their plan was. Although it's also possible that they very much kept her in the dark about all of that, so she might not, even if she does remember, have any idea what plan they sort of had. Because I do still firmly believe that them releasing her was part of their plan. Now, how? I don't know, but I think it was. Anyway, we also got a little bit more Charlie backstory. We also had Charlie completely just pow, pow, pow Ethan right in the chest, and he is dead, so we're not going to get any answers from him. So yeah, not fully back to square one, but definitely not like very much further than we were before. But hopefully this episode will give us more answers. There's only one way to find out, so let's watch it and see.
He's here. Come on. Gotta get you out.
Is that Sawyer? What the fuck? Well, no wonder he's fucking scarred and traumatized. Is that a boar? Was that a fucking bear? Oh, it's a boar. Oh my god. Sawyer, be careful. I would just let it run. Does he hear the whispers? You need to talk to Saeed. Did it say you'll come back around? I'm gonna have to try to listen to that later.
Then it came at me, so I hit it and ran off into the jungle.
With your top.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps he wanted to go camping.
You enjoying yourself?
A little bit he is, I think.
Yes. Well, laugh it up, Muhammad.
Alright. Chill with
When
the
I come back and
racism.
find my stuff's gone, I'm coming after you.
I think that if they would just get, well, mostly Sawyer, if he would just get the fuck over himself, they could be
Saeed.
friends. Talk about the whispers?
What did you
He
hear?
heard something too! Sorry, I'm getting a little...
I thought I heard whispering.
Yeah.
What was it saying?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I want to fucking know.
Did you hear something?
Yeah, he did. He's not asking this randomly out of nowhere.
Forget it. I didn't hear anything.
That's clearly a lie. That's clearly a lie. What did the whispers say?
This is really awkward. But if I don't say something now, things are liable to get downright embarrassed.
Hey, he's from X-Files.
Figure that makes us even for the Tampa job.
What could possibly make us even for the Tampa job?
How about the known whereabouts of the man who ruined your life? I'll make myself a drink.
Did he not
You want one?
die when he shot himself?
Hook the wife and take the husband for all the money. He's pretty good at it, too, from what I hear.
Oh, so,
Till sadly, one of his marks in despair took a gun, shot up his wife.
yeah,
and killed her.
okay, so it was his dad.
Turns out Frank Duckett used to be named Frank Sawyer, the name I believe you appropriated for
yourself.
Mm-hmm. Oh, fuck, I missed the picture.
This is him.
That's
Can
him.
you show the picture again? I was writing down names. Look at the picture again. Can I see it? Fuck. Okay.
Let him keep the gun. It's not worth it.
What, are you worried he's gonna shoot me if I ask?
I just don't want you to owe him anything.
I mean, he's already had it this whole time anyway, so, like, does it matter if he keeps it?
Thought I'd see if you wanted to go for a walk.
Sorry. I have to do something.
Sure.
Do what?
See you later.
Is he avoiding her because he feels guilty about what he did to Ethan? I mean, I only needed answers from that guy. He deserved to be killed for sure. Well, he killed multiple people. I like imagining him just like piss the fuck off at this boar. I don't know why it's funny. Oh, that more whispers. This fucking boar after him? Damn, it wants that tart. That boar's like, that's my tart, bitch. He's being bullied by this boar. I'm kind of here for it, honestly.
A boar
He's
did all this.
he's being
Last
bullied.
night, wrecked my tent.
A boar wouldn't just attack you for no reason.
Thank you, boar expert. This one did. It's harassing me.
It is. It's a bullying.
You look a man in the eye and you point a gun at him, you find who you really are, mate. And should you find you're not a killer, there's no refund. Won't be a problem.
So that's just who he's buying it from.
This is gonna end with you and me running through the jungle screaming and crying. It catches me first because I'm heavy and I get cramps.
Harley, calm down.
Because I'm worried about Charlie.
What's wrong with Charlie?
I mean, he killed the guy. He shot him in the chest 4 times. Maybe you should talk to him?
I imagine that even if, like I said, even if you thought they deserved it, it would be hard to live with the fact that you did that, right?
So don't take it personal when I tell you to go.
I want carte blanche.
Oh.
What?
No idea what you're doing.
Carte blanche.
It means blank check.
I know what it means.
Anytime I want something from your stash, medicine, soap, whatever, I get it. No questions asked. Take it or leave it.
I just had a thought, but
If you want to drink, you gotta play.
play what?
Play what?
I never.
Oh, never have I ever?
I never.
I'm supposed to know what that means.
She never played Never Have I Ever?
Never blamed a boar for all my problems.
He got another one? It looks like a different bottle.
I never cared about having carte blanche, because I just wanted to spend some time with the only other person on this island that just don't belong.
Yeah. They're friends. I think it's fine.
Never carried a letter around for 20 years because I couldn't get over my baggage.
I mean, to be fair, his baggage is pretty fucking heavy. They're kind of like taking low blows now, though. It's supposed to be a fun game.
I never killed a man.
Ooh. I mean, to be fair, you did try, you just missed. Y'all have turned the game from fun into not fun, though. Just FYI. Ooh. So he did kill the guy that killed his... that was
Well.
responsible for his parents' death.
Looks like we got something in common after all.
I think y'all have a lot in common, honestly. I think y'all both feel outcast, you feel misunderstood, you have giant fucking walls up to keep your distance from everybody else because you feel like if you told people the truth, they wouldn't understand. just a lot that I think they have in common.
What happened to your campsite?
A boar.
Oh, son of a...
It peed on it.
Peed on my shirt. Took my shirt out of the bag and peed on it. And you say this ain't personal.
He thinks the boar we're after has a vendetta against him.
That's 3 times it's attacked me.
Maybe it's got your scent. Doesn't like your cologne.
I don't wear cologne.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, well... the thing's got it in for me.
It's a boar, Sawyer.
My sister Jeannie died when I was a boy.
Oh, okay.
Fell off the monkey bars and broke her neck. And my mother, well, my foster mother, she blamed herself, of course. Thought she wasn't watching close enough.
Locke has some trauma too, damn.
About 6 months after Jeannie's funeral, this golden retriever comes padding up our driveway, walks right into our house, sits down on the floor, and looks right at my mother there on the couch. And my mother looks back at the dog. After about a minute of this, them both staring at each other like that, my mother bursts into tears.
So Sawyer is placing
Beautiful dog.
the guy
no
he killed.
tags, no collar,
before.
healthy,
Right.
and sweet. Dog slept in Jeannie's old room on Jeannie's old bed.
You're saying the dog was your sister?
No, I don't think he is.
Well, that would be silly.
He's saying,
But my mother thought it was.
he's saying that they placed
Thought
that
that Jeannie
on
come
the
back
dog.
to tell her the accident wasn't her fault. Let her off the hook.
Maybe that's what Sawyer is doing with the boar. Locke knows people, you know? Sometimes he goes about it in kind of fucked up way. But he knows people.
Good to go.
Thatcher from Grey's Anatomy?
Name's Frank, by the way.
He knows.
James.
Good to meet you, James.
Wonder if, is that his real name? Wonder if he doesn't kill him and that's why he's haunted by him. I mean, he drank though.
1 shrimp and hot sauce.
He left.
These bastards think Americans can't hold that liquor.
Oh. I wonder if he kills somebody else.
I drink.
Is that Jack's dad?
What's your name, cowboy?
At the bar?
Sawyer.
To Sawyer. May find whatever he's looking for at the bottom of a glass.
Oh, wow.
So, Sawyer,
What if he does kill his
what brings you to Sydney?
Business.
That's so weird. He met his dad.
Some people are just supposed to suffer.
Okay.
That's why the Red Sox will never win the damn series.
They did, didn't they? I mean, years later after this. But...
I have a son. He's about your age.
He's a good man.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a great one.
Yeah.
He thinks that I hate him. He thinks I feel betrayed by him.
Do you not?
But what I really feel is gratitude
Oh.
and pride because of what he did to me.
Aww.
What he did for me. It took more courage than I have.
Aww.
I could tell him that I love him.
Yeah.
One simple phone call and I could fix everything.
So fucking do it?
Why don't you?
Yeah.
Because I am weak.
This business that you have, will it ease your suffering?
Yeah.
Then what are you doing here?
Bro, you don't realize the advice you're giving him. Wonder if Sawyer will ever realize that that was Jack's dad and then have that moment and like tell him that he was proud of him. I wonder if Jack would listen.
What happened with Ethan will be with you for the rest of your life.
That's just human. Even if he deserved it.
You're not alone. Don't pretend to be.
Yeah. I think if you need to talk to people who understand, right?
Here, piggy, piggy, piggy!
Sawyer, put it down. That's not
Yeah,
funny.
here,
Aw,
piggy, piggy,
this
piggy!
is a baby.
Piggy, piggy, piggy!
You, Sawyer, you're gonna hurt it.
We're right over here!
Not funny.
Yeah.
You're sick.
It's just a baby.
Sawyer.
You used to go by the name of Sawyer.
What the hell are you talking about? You didn't have to tell Hibbs I were to pay.
You borrowed money from Hibbs?
It'll come back around.
Ah. Isn't that why he heard the whisper? So, did Hibbs lie to him then? I feel like this is a moment for Sawyer.
It's just a bore.
Let's get back to camp.
I think that's a good moment for him. He's gonna hand it to him.
Trying to be funny?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. I was fresh out of pies to throw at you.
He's giving it to him.
You go, Sheriff. I made a deal with your girlfriend.
What did she give you?
Nothing she wasn't willing to part with.
He's so...
That's why the Sox will never win the series.
What's that? Huh? What'd you just say?
Is he realizing?
I said that's why the Red Sox will never win the series.
What the hell's that
I think they
supposed to
do,
be?
though.
It's just something my father used to say. He could go through life knowing that people hated him. Instead of taking responsibility for it, he just put it on fate.
Your daddy. He a doctor too?
Was. He's dead. Why do you want to know about my father?
Because he had a conversation with him. I think he'll tell him at some point, but probably not right now.
No reason.
Ooh, that was a really good one. That was a really good one. Also, I'm gonna try to start saying Sawyer, because a few people have commented like I say Sawyer weird. I don't know why I say Sawyer. Maybe it's a Southern thing. Maybe it's a me being bad at pronouncing names thing, but I just say Sawyer instead of Sawyer. Like Sawyer is weird to say to me. I don't know. Anyway, I really liked this episode. I think it's really cool that we actually have a moment of Sawyer meeting Jack's dad and having this moment with him where he gets to know that something about Jack and his relationship with his father that Jack doesn't even know, which is that his dad was actually proud of him and was grateful for him telling the truth, which definitely in all of the interactions that we saw with his father, even with his mother, who basically blamed him for his dad going to Sydney in the first place, being like, well, this is the least you could do after what you did. It's interesting that his dad seems to actually, like at least somewhere inside, understand that he does have a problem and that what Jack did was actually the mark of him being a good person, and it was actually to protect people, and it was actually out of love for people and his dad that he told the truth. And it's nice to see that his dad did know that. I do hope at some point Sawyer will tell Jack that. I think that at the end, him realizing who the man at the bar was and realizing that he had that interaction, I think it's probably too soon for him to tell him. I do hope that at some point he will tell him the truth, because I hope that at some point Jack and Sawyer can maybe sort of get over their differences and sort of realize that maybe they're not as different as they think they are. just like, I really hope that Saeed and Sawyer can get over their differences and work through it and become friends, because I don't know, I think that they could be friends. And even though Sawyer is kind of a dick sometimes, I think that underneath all of the trauma and everything and the facade and the walls that he's built up to keep people out because he doesn't want to get hurt, I think underneath all of that, he is a good person. And I think we've seen moments of that. And I hope that we continue to see more moments of that as the layers of who he is are peeled back, and we sort of just keep getting to see more of who he is under the facade of who he pretends to be, right? I also really enjoy his and Kate's relationship, because I do think that he is right. I think they both feel like they don't fit in. I think they both feel like maybe they're tainted by the lives they've had to lead and the choices they've had to make. And I think that makes both of them sort of put people at a distance, and it makes them both sort of behave a certain way. And I think that it makes them both feel left out, because neither of them feel like they can be fully themselves with everyone, because I think they both just have a lot of trauma. Like, it would be traumatizing as fuck to hide under a bed, hear someone, your father, shoot your mother, and then he comes into your room, sits on your bed above where you are, and shoots himself. At some point, I can only imagine that Sawyer crawled out from under the bed and saw the aftermath of that. And that's horrifying. That's traumatizing. That you really, like, it kind of puts into perspective who he is and who he became after that. Now, Hibbs, are we supposed to think, I think we are, Hibbs lied to Sawyer, and that this guy, this Frank guy, this Frank Duquette, or Duckett, whatever his name was, he wasn't really Frank Sawyer. Like, he lied so that Sawyer would do what he did because he was mad that the guy didn't pay him back. Is that kind of where, like, what we're supposed to think? I don't know. I feel like that's what we're supposed to think. And if so, that's why the boar is haunting Sawyer, because he feels like he killed an innocent person, and he feels like that person is haunting him for killing him. Right? I assume. Is James Sawyer's real name? And he was being honest when he gave that name to the Frank guy? I'm curious. I also think that Jack's dad saying, you know, some people are meant to suffer, like, that's why the Red Sox will never win the World Series or whatever, which is interesting, because for some reason, and I don't know if it's intentional or not, probably not, but I wonder if, like, because Jack said, sorry, I'm jumping all over the place, but Jack said that his dad used that as a way to say, I am who I am, and I'm not going to change, right? Like, this idea that, like, some people are meant to suffer, like, people are who they are, right? So I wonder if that was, like, a flaw that Jack saw in his dad, of, like, not being willing to change because he thinks that fate is making him this way and orchestrating situations, so it's pointless to try to change. I wonder if that made Jack try to go the opposite of his dad and, like, try to change because he didn't want to get stuck in the same sort of situation that his dad was in, of, like, staying the same, if that makes sense, right? I don't know. I really liked Sawyer and Kate in this episode. I really liked seeing their bond. Like I said, I think that their friendship is one that I really enjoy. I understand why they connect with each other, how they sort of view themselves as separate from everyone else. I really like, I don't know, I like the vulnerability that Sawyer feels he can display with Kate. It always inevitably with the two of them, which makes sense because they both have these huge walls built up, right? I think they lower them a little bit with each other, and then because they lower them and then they're both being vulnerable, it sort of turns into like little attacks, right? So it is always kind of frustrating because you know that when they have these moments where they're being vulnerable and honest with each other, that there's always going to be like a little jab, a little like just like the game of I never, or as we always called it growing up, never have I ever. And like it slowly started to get, like it was playful at first, and then it started to get a little bit more personal, and then it started to get a little bit like pointed jabs at each other. And then it ultimately ended in a place of vulnerability, I think, because Sawyer was being honest about the fact that he had killed someone. She was being honest about the fact that she had killed someone. We still don't really know who she killed. Or I think, wait, was it her husband that she killed? I think she killed her husband, but we don't know why. I still think that there's probably a good reason. Like, I don't think that Kate's just out here murdering people for no reason. I think she's a good person. But I like that vulnerability. I do feel bad for Sawyer if the truth is that that guy just used him to kill somebody that didn't deserve it, you know? I guess at some point we might find out. I don't know if we'll see Hibbs again. He is from the X-Files, though, if you've ever seen the X-Files, the very end of it. But yeah, there's something else I wanted to say. Oh, I really liked Charlie and Saeed in this episode as well, because I think that, I mean, this is coming from someone who's never killed someone, obviously, but I think that that would probably, even if, like I said during the episode, even if you felt it was justified, even if it was like self-defense, even if like they were a horrible person, I feel like that is something that would stick with you, that would traumatize you to an extent, right? Knowing that you did this thing. So I think that it was good that Saeed talked to Charlie, and I'm glad that Saeed talked about how, like, I knew that this person was responsible for killing like a woman and 2 children. Like, I knew that they deserved it, and it still haunted me. Like, there's no reason that it should, because the person deserved it, but it still did. And I think that that makes sense from a human perspective. I imagine that even if you are put in that horrible situation where you do have to do that to protect yourself, to protect somebody you love, even if the person deserves it, I don't think that as humans we're built to be capable of doing something that horrific without being haunted by it, right? Which is why, like, people who do that, like serial killers, you know, killers in general, I guess, I think that that's why it's so horrifying to us as humans, because we're not meant to be capable of something like that. And so it's always like, if it just, I don't know, what am I trying to say? I think it is horrifying, right? So I think that to be horrified of yourself, at yourself, even if it was something that you felt was necessary, I think just makes sense, right? Also, we discovered something about Locke in this episode, which I assume was true, which is that his sister Jeannie, I think I spelled it wrong, Jeannie, died when they were kids. She fell off a monkey bars and broke her neck, he said, which, horrifying. My brother fell off the monkey bars when we were kids, but he only broke his arm. He also said his foster mother, like, blamed herself because she wasn't watching her, and XYZ, and then, like, the dog, and how the dog was a metaphor for Jeannie, and now the boar is a metaphor for Frank, for Sawyer, right? Like, Locke just knows what people want to hear, and he knows how to get through to people, and he knows what they need in order to feel better and to, like, work through their shit. How he knows, I don't know. Like, Locke is kind of magic in that way, I guess. But my point was, we now know a little bit more of Locke's backstory, and we can kind of see how Locke maybe became who Locke is, because he went through a trauma very young as well, and he was in the foster care system, which even if his foster mother was very lovely, I imagine is also traumatic in some ways, because you're not with your parents. I know that my mother was adopted, and for her, it was always, you know, a difficult thing to contend with. So I imagine for him, it's a difficult thing to contend with as well. And yeah, I hope that we'll learn more about Locke and maybe his earlier life. I think this is the first time that we've had a flashback to somebody being that much younger, right? Like, we saw Michael when he was like pretty young, when Cam was first pregnant. So we saw him like 10 years ago, because Walt is around 10, right? So we saw like a flashback to him a while ago, but this is the first time. No, it's not. We saw Jack as a kid too, right? Yeah, we saw Jack as a kid, and his dad was telling him, yeah. But I think that's it, right? We've seen Jack and now Sawyer as kids, I think. Now I'm trying to remember, like, we didn't see Charlie as a kid, we didn't see Saeed as a kid, we didn't see Locke as a kid, we didn't see Kate as a kid, we didn't see Boone as a kid, or Shannon. I'm trying to remember all the flashbacks. I think that Sawyer and Jack are the only ones that we've seen as kids so far. Yeah, that's interesting. Oh, that's what I was gonna do. I'm gonna go back really quick to the beginning and see if I can, I'm gonna turn it up and see if I can hear what the whispers are saying. Probably can't, but I'm just gonna do it real quick to try and see. It'll come back around, which is what that, I think that he heard, it'll come back around, which is what that guy had said to him. So, but there's no way that the others would know that that guy said it'll come back around. So maybe Rousseau heard whispers, Saeed heard whispers, and now Sawyer's heard whispers. So there are whispers, but maybe they just assign what they hear to something that they're already thinking. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I heard it wrong, but I thought that's what it said. Anyway, thank you guys always as so much. Let me reboot real quick. Thank you guys as all. Okay, my rebooting is not working. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, if you want, you can like, comment, and subscribe if you aren't already. You can also watch the next episode right now over on Patreon if you're watching this on YouTube, as well as my entire full-length reaction to this episode and all the episodes thus far of Lost. That is over on Patreon as well, which is linked in the description down below. I think I finally got it. I think the reboot finally worked. Anyway, I'm gonna go. I hope to see you guys next week for more Lost, more mystery, more intrigue, more whispers. Only one way to find out. See you then. Bye, guys.